Today, the Oshkosh Area School District announced a proposal to eliminate 70 positions in an effort to reduce its budget by $6 million. New at 6, Taylor Zebel finds out what this looks like for the district.
A list of 2026 to 2027 budget reduction recommendations is now finalized for the Oshkosh Area School District. The recommendations represent the administration's plan for a reduction of more than $6.5 million, $500,000 above its target. State Senator Kristen Dassler-Elfheim, who represents part of Oshkosh, is not surprised by the announcement.
Every school district, including Oshkosh, has worked very hard as a school board and administration to really build the very best product for our children possible. I know that to be true. I talk to my administrators regularly. The reality is that we as a society have to realize that we are underfunding what is necessary.
70 full-time positions throughout the district will be eliminated if the proposal is approved without changes, including almost 37 jobs at the secondary level, along with 12 at the pre-K and elementary level. An estimated 23 elective staff at the middle and high schools may be eliminated. The district communications director tells me that number is a forecast only. The exact number of elective staff and the classes that could be impacted won't be known until course selections for next school year are done this spring. Superintendent Dr. Brian Davis says in part, quote, "Our staff are the foundation of this district, and we approach this with the utmost respect and care for the dedicated individuals who serve our students. While this process is challenging, our committed educators and employees are why we still successfully navigate this period," end quote. The Board of Education will discuss the recommendations on December 10th right here at the district's administrative building. However, no action will be taken during the meeting. Reporting in Oshkosh, Taylor Zebel, Action 2 News.